Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Moji Baba ki Jai. Then, hello. Questions, reports, something. Nothing. Everyone sorted.
Yes.
Mahesh says, Olga asked me something which I'll answer to her specifically later. Mahesh says, life, dreams, computer games, and TV series all seem the same. An investment in what happens to various characters. This is good observation.
Guys, that like you explained so nicely that there's no effort here to do, but still there is this time, there's this convincer who thinks that some effort has to be made on this.
Effort to be made for? Let the convincer explain fully.
Effort in the sense that I don't know how to see this. Like I see in my head the commentary, like
Commentary is going.
Like first some thought comes, then some thoughts get belief, and then some become like the desserts that we, like all that it makes those hard-going things inside, emotions and sensations and the more we have. So that's where like it feels like some kind of effort is needed to really like sit and watch or be more aware, So just if we could stick
Let's see what comes up. First I want to say that if someone came to you and said that I'm going to charge you 10,000 rupees and I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to charge you 10,000 rupees. I'm going to tell you a very important secret. You say, what will that help me do? He says, it will help you sit exactly where you're sitting right now. What? But I am already. Is it? But I am already. But it's very good. You will get to sit exactly where you are. Is it? Yeah, but why I need steps for that? Is it? So you know what I'm getting at. Is it? So firstly, we must be able to define our starting point in a way. So effort means I take step 1, step 2, step 3, and then something should happen. Okay? So what is that effort towards? Like if you are speaking to somebody in business, they say if you do this, this, and this, you will make this amount of money. Okay? Now in the spiritual search, what is the end product of the effort? Huh?
Your true self.
Your true self. So if the end point of this effort is your true self, what do you mean by true? True means what you are here and now. And also true means that which cannot come and go. Is it? True also means that which cannot come and go. Therefore it must already be. Is it? So if something already is, can there ever be effort to make it that way? Is it? Therefore it must already be this, which already is. Is it? So what is this then that we are talking about? Is it? That Bhagwan also said, till it feels like it is effort, make the effort. Then what is he talking about? If it originally is this way, then what is going on? Then it must be that that which is has given to itself the power to believe, to make it seem like it is not that. You see, we're going really slowly, I'm breaking it down for you. So that which already is truly cannot come and go, must already be here now, more intimate than sitting exactly where you are now, more effortless than that. You see, this one is already, but this one itself must have given to itself the power to believe otherwise, the power to believe that it is not this, the power to make it seem as if it is not that, but it is something limited. So, but to do that, it would have to take a few steps: attention, belief, identity. These are the steps. But what has happened is in this game that it is played, that the game seems to have become natural. The game of belief and identity seems to have become natural. So it can seem like naturally, what is naturally here is my identity. It can only seem that way. You see? So it is worthwhile to make that effort to investigate whether it is so. You see? So to make that effort to contemplate, to inquire into whether it truly is so. You see? For us, for whom it seemed like naturally there is a person here, or naturally identity is here. And then quickly you will see that actually naturally there is no person. It is the mind which is struggling to create the person moment to moment. But if that effort of letting go or of inquiry seems like it is needed to recognize what is just natural here effortlessly, then the sages have said it makes sense to put that effort. If it needs the notion remain notionless, to become empty of all notions, then that notion is worthwhile. As Guruji would say, don't shoot the sheepdog. I was doing the work. So we must be able to then smell and see what does it naturally feel like. What is naturally here? What does it feel naturally to you? Do you feel like naturally there's a individual entity sitting here? Then no effort needed. If it does feel Like, of course, I'm an individual. If the thought has got you, if the notion has got you so strongly, then it makes sense to inquire, to investigate, to make that seeming effort. Is it? It is not effort because it is a stepping back. Is it? Stepping back and looking. Is it? And the stepping back is not a physical step, so it's not effort like that. Is it? I was saying to someone the other day, maybe Kamalji, I was saying to that, if I was to tell you, is it, that on this conveyor belt, 100 things will come, and you have to pick up all of them. And you will be paid 500 rupees an hour for this job. Okay. Then picking up each of them. That is the effort. At the end of the hour, you will come to me and say, see, I put in that effort for the 1 hour, give me my 500 rupees. Isn't it? Now, if I was to tell you that now your next job, which is super effort, is to just allow the conveyor belt to go. Don't pick up, don't touch anything. You will say, what? You're going to pay me for this? Really? That is no effort. Now, this is exactly what I'm saying to do with the mind. Then why does this seem like effort? Really? This is what the sages are saying. Don't touch the mind. Let it come and let it go. So picking up from the conveyor belt is effort, is hard work. Then why is the picking up from the conveyor belt of the mind not effort? It is just that since it seemed like in this play of this life, it just seems this way because nobody can really confirm any of this. It seems like we've learned and our habit is to go and pick up. So this has become different from the conveyor belt of work to like almost like to feel like you're hungry and there's a conveyor belt of food coming. You can feel like, oh man, that food is so tempting. That feels like effort, isn't it? If some beautiful dessert or whatever you like is coming on the conveyor belt at the restaurant, then that seems like effort to hold back and not pick up. So that temptation is what? When a thought comes, what is it offering to you? What it is actually giving you is, unsolicited advice on how to suffer. But what do you feel at that moment it is offering to you? Control. It's a little higher. Some idea of control, some sense of making something better, changing something. This idea that it should be like this, my life should be like that, my partner should be like this, my relationship should be like that, my freedom should be like this.
It's also just an experience, in a sense.
The thought?
If the thought says, this is the cake,
Yeah.
You tried it before and you think it's really nice, or you enjoyed it the previous time.
Yeah.
So you put it back in your mouth.
Yeah.
If something was like bitter and you didn't like it, you wouldn't put it in your mouth, right?
So you don't need the advice from the thought.
I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, look at this. In the sense that an infant doesn't need a thought to tell him drink the milk.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't need. But that's the time when that child has only that option, in a sense. But when he
No,
gets
it has option in the sense it doesn't feel like it has option, but in the play of the infant it could be crying, it could be sleeping, it could be smiling, it could be winking.
I was just trying to answer the question of
This drinking is happening.
yeah.
Do I need a thought? Okay, take one more sip, take one more sip, take one more sip.
So when you see food and you pick it up and eat it without thought, that's fine. If I see something and there is hunger within the body,
Of course.
pick it up and just eat it. No thoughts necessary.
No thought is necessary for anything at all.
Yeah, so okay, then I understand that when I need some control, like I need to be on a diet or whatever, then I need to change what is naturally present now. I need to have this control of, I don't like the idea of what it is today, so I need to change it. And then I need some thinking, but even then I don't need to think in a sense. Because it's going to change anyway.
Also, what is fundamental is that, like you're here now, what are you taking yourself to be? Like you're taking yourself to be something that you perceive, isn't it?
Yes.
Why don't you take yourself then to be all that you perceive? Like why don't all of us take ourselves to be this whole room instead of just one object?
Trained a different way.
You got trained, so now let's detrain, let's really look. Is there any, I mean, for those of you new to Satsang, it might sound crazy what I'm saying. If you have to take yourself as an object of perception, why don't you take yourself as the entirety of your perception? What makes you take yourself only as, and she's right, we've been trained that way, but this is the rehab for that training, that conditioning that I'm a limited object. What forces us to believe that we are just this one perception?
If I was to give you a report, I would say that, after coming to Satsang, nothing is forcing now. In fact, there's a recognition that you're picking up something quite quickly, and which would not have been there before. So the de-addiction is already quite happening of itself. There is effort, but there's also not your effort in a sense. So it's going on, and the pointing comes quite quickly because you can't maybe come with an idea like smelling. But it's like being here in the presence of quickly enough it begins to dissolve itself.
So the thing is that I'm saying that this mouth is speaking. Yeah? Suppose that it said something really stupid. Then will you beat yourself up saying, why did I say something so stupid?
I really don't know what that to say because I may or I may not actually.
This is good. But usually what happens is that which comes out from one particular mouth, that which you take ownership of. If something comes from this mouth, you will say, Father is saying something really silly. How does that distinction happen? Is it just purely on the visual perspective?
So if you said something funny or silly and I would say...
So not even saying you or who.
Yeah.
This mouth said something which you felt was really silly.
Yeah. The thought felt really silly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So it was not coherent.
Yeah.
Your judgment on that will be what? Again another thought. Will be on what? That Father said something incoherent. Yeah. Why don't we say, I said?
Because by sheer habit, the idea of separation of different bodies and things and labels is still around.
Exactly.
Still around. And
still comes.
It still comes.
Yes.
And maybe the first thing we may buy that story.
So now if this idea is not there, which it isn't right now, now when the thought comes with the message that you are like this or I am like this, when that message is bought, what does it seem like we are then? What do we seem to become when we buy a thought from this mind? We start to presume as if, in a sense, we feel like we are this contracted object.
You feel like the person of the mystery.
Now, do this without a thought. separate something, limit yourself without a thought. Even if some contractive seeming emotions are coming or sensations are coming, you need a thought to come and say, see, this is, you can use this. You see, even that notion has to be there. If you don't have notion of contraction, expansion also, limit yourself without using a thought. Assignment for the day, children. Homework. Limit yourself without using a thought, without using a notion.
But even a sensation is a thought in a sense.
Audio. Let's see.
Is it deep? Because you
No,
feel.
did you do it?
Yeah.
Without a thought.
Without a thought,
You
but then there
limited
was this
yourself.
sensation of this familiar sensation which feels like me. I'm not thinking, okay, but this, just this. This
Yeah, let
taste
it
of,
be. Just
this
let it be.
taste of
Don't buy the notion it feels like me.
Okay.
Don't know what anything is. Don't know what sensation is, me is, feels like is, nothing. Don't bring any knowledge into this picture.
All the time we are.
But you held on to that knowledge, is it? See, the thing is that you caught on to it and you were waiting for my attention to be able to speak it out. Where I'm saying that this, don't hold on to this. Let it go. I know it's a habit. You see, I know it's a habit. That the habit to conclude, the habit to know what is going on. We don't know actually. Our report actually will not be able to convey anything to do with reality. See? Our report, whatever it might be, will have nothing to do with reality. So this is the assignment, this is the habit. See? And we have come to this satsang, to satsang, to get rid of this habit, to de-addict ourselves from this, see? To get free from this. Because this is the ego, this is how we limit ourselves, see? By this pretend knowing. And nobody knows it, that's why everybody fights. You see? That's why everybody fights. No, because everybody has their conclusions, none of them are true. But we hold on to them, and that's why there is disagreement.
No, Father, this is just something else. I mean, I'm looking at it
Yeah.
because when I came here, and okay, we were being fair, and I was just feeling like really wonderful. And in the prayer, I mean, suddenly this is
See, now,
you,
again,
Father.
no.
I know, I'm making
No,
a
see,
story.
this is the knowledge that I'm talking about. Don't bring this knowledge into the picture. It is not helping you. What is, what was, what will be. You don't need to make any definition about anything. Because you don't know what happened. It's only a claim. It is only a claim. And the claim is never true. The claim cannot capture 0.0001% of what is. See? The isness cannot be captured in any statement, any conclusion that you make. This is the habit. You just feel like, and if I say no, there might even be this idea that I'm being invalidated or something. It is not true. I'm trying to validate the true you when invalidating this knower of things, this conceptualizer of things. So the idea is not to hurt any of you. The idea is just to get you to see that we are so dependent on our conclusions, that this is what happened, and now that was that, and now this is this. It isn't. It's just fairy tales. The other day, I was saying in Satsang, if there was one practice I've given you all, it is to just sit. What does it mean? Just to sit without any intention, without any conclusion, without any judgment, without any expectation. Then somebody told me just yesterday or day before that this what you were saying, Father, is what they call Zazen. Yeah? So, that sounds very good to me. This is what it is. Is it? But when I am saying just sit, it doesn't mean that you have to physically sit. When I am saying just sit, doesn't mean that your mouth has to be closed. It's like you have no intention or expectation about anything. Stand. If you won't be standing, the body can stand. The body can jump. The body can sit. But you will not have a judgment, you will not have a conclusion, even if it feels a bit true. Is it inconclusively? In the sense, not making a conclusion that I am so inconclusive. See openness. Every conclusion is a limitation, is a boundary by the mind. The thing is that I can notice in some of you referring what I am saying back to also the mind and saying, so, how do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think it will think? It will only give you a conclusion which will offer to you. This is valid. This is actually true. Is it? This is the thing. Father, what do you do with that sense of boredom and the sense of I when you just sit? We were taught this term boredom. Suppose you forgot its meaning. We were not born with the idea of what boredom is. And actually that which we call boredom will become very rare, because actually we get bored with our notions of what is. Okay? When we put that box and we say this is what is happening, I'm just sitting alone at home. You see? I'm just in my room, there's nothing to do, all my friends are traveling. You see, these are ideas. But without these ideas, who is here? Who is alone? You will not find yourself getting bored of that which we call boredom. Because in every moment there is so much wonder in this world, even in the phenomenal appearance. Sometimes you just look at the body.
Can the thought won't arise? I mean, if I look at it.
The thought can arise, but you don't have to buy into it. Look at it. Thought will come. How long? But that is irrespective. Is it? So you have stepped back from that equation. You are no longer a variable dependent on thought. You probably tell I've been helping my son with some. I see. What do you do with the sense of boredom? Okay, so don't know what boredom is. And the sense of I, when you just sit. The sense of I. If it feels natural for you to hold on to it, hold on to it. If it feels natural for attention to just go everywhere, not even holding on to this sense of I, then forget about it. It's okay. The mouth is speaking, the mouth is speaking. If the mouth is not speaking, the mouth is not speaking. If eyes are seeing, eyes are seeing. Eyes are not seeing, they're not seeing. Ears are always hearing anyway. If they're hearing attentively, they're hearing attentively. If they're not hearing attentively, they're not hearing. All senses, everything. Sitting, standing, lying down. It's easier to not believe a thought, except when it is the I. It might sound strange to you, but forget that you know what I thought is. And don't get into any position which is in opposition to thought. Okay? Because many times when I say like this, you might then have a position like, come on, you go, you thought. No, not you. You see? Like that. Not even that. Just like open space. Everything comes and goes. Everything comes and goes. Not for or against anything at all. Neither accepting nor rejecting. Just not taking any position. There is a strong belief that the I thought should disappear for true freedom to be experienced. Okay. 3, 2, 1, gone. Experience it, don't judge it. You said for freedom to be experienced, so I am saying experience it, don't judge it. Taste your freedom. Don't give it a rating. You'll survive without your reports. You'll survive. The fear is, who am I without my report? Without my conclusion? Without knowing anything? You'll do just fine. And then you'll drop the notion of fear. Again, I'm pointing out that this has nothing to do with action or inaction. If you try to relate it back to the coconut, then it will feel like, okay, how do I behave now? What word should I say? What should I not say? I'm just pointing you to a openness which is your original nature. That knowingness which is beyond all conceptual knowing. So whether chopping wood, fetching water continues or not, is not what I'm speaking of. Sometimes even these can become conclusions, in the sense that we might hear that, oh, before enlightenment, chopping wood, fetching water; after enlightenment, chopping wood, fetching water. You see? And it can be like that. It's a beautiful pointing. But remember that it doesn't have to be. It can be anything at all. If you feel like there is a report or a conclusion about yourself without which you can't survive, then you can expose that. There is some conceptual knowing which is central to your very existence. If you feel that way, then you can expose that one which is the same as surrender, or inquire into it and check whose life is dependent on this conclusion, on this notion. Even freedom, which might have started off seemingly like an idea, but now you're letting go of the notion of it, and you're tasting something undefinable, not a thing at all. When I get to Sahaja/Bangalore, then I'll really be free. I don't know why, but this silent presence and connection is the most beautiful thing. That's good. Father, no conclusion seems to be of any value in this not knowing. Yes, exactly. Not knowing is the when you are empty of conclusions. So you can say not small k knowing. You don't have to know this. Just a something here from which I don't think, just a something here from which I think I don't want to be without, believing I cannot be without it. Yes. Just a something here from which I think I don't want to be without. Just a something here from which believing I cannot be without it. all ideas of what we think we cannot be without, what we think we cannot be without, all can be surrendered, or all can be dissolved in the light of your self-inquiry. Something experiential connected to the body which gives the feeling to exist, and without seems existing would end. You see, but notionlessly there is also no time. So the concept of start and end are not there. The one who had said, I don't know, but this silent presence and connection is the most beautiful thing. Then says, but when it's away from your presence or from the presence, it seems to be veiled. This separation is very tiring. This seeming oscillation can happen naturally, but more and more you come to your own presence. This presence is your presence, your being. And there is never ever truly any separation possible. But I completely understand what you mean. You're conveying that when you're not in satsang, then it can feel like the messages from the mind, they seem to be much stronger. And that is why satsang is there for you from Monday to Friday. Exposing a strong notion. The momentary freedom experienced now in your presence is great. But unless the momentum of the habitual mind is put to rest, the freedom is not going to be permanent. You will continue to need vigilance for a long time till you can truly rest without the presence of a master. Yes, this notion is best surrendered. You see? Because even if it was true, which it isn't, but even if it was true, it would make much more sense to settle into your notionlessness than to worry about this notion. You see? Even if there was a choice that I can play with this notion or I can just be empty of notions, you see, then you would make that choice to be empty of notions irrespective of whether this notion was true or not. Because if the momentum of the habitual mind is to be put to rest, the best time to do that is now. Every now. I seem to hold the notion that identification with notions will fade away. Yes, our notions about notions can also be dropped. Meta notions. So how about every day, before we close Satsang, we spend a few minutes, even if initially we need to time ourselves, few minutes just in this naturalness, in our notionless existence. And it's not a rigid practice or something. You don't have to sit, you can stand, you can lie down, but just in this openness of letting go. Let all things come and go. You are not judging, you are not comparing, you are not intending, you are not expecting. Eyes can be open or closed. Everything can be as is. If you do end up picking up a notion, if you do end up picking up an idea, don't worry about it. Your noticing is enough. Nothing you have to do about it. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Guru Kripa Kevalam.